What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Mark Howard, and we talk Cowboys here. We talk Cowboys here, so get that straight out there. And I don't know, y'all love it. I talk to people about the show. I want to appreciate everybody coming. This is our second taping, and we're really excited. I know that I talked to some friends, people like that, and they love talking trash. Look, I know how it is, and y'all know how it is. I'm just willing to say it, and y'all just need to admit it. There are two types of people in this world: Cowboys fans, those who wish they were Cowboys fans. You understand? It's all good, though. It's all love. I love y'all because you're always talking about us. You're going to have us in your mouth. And I understand. We're the Cowboys. So we're going to get right into it. First week of training camp just finished. First week of training camp. The week is already gone. Started last Monday. Ended Thursday. No practice today here on Friday. And guys need a little break there. They're going to put the pads on, start hitting next week. So we're going to really start to find out. Earlier, what we found out, guys were going through some run-throughs. Nobody's going to the ground. But there was a lot of energy in the training camp, a lot of pump. You said you got the young coaching staff. Schottenheimer has everybody just pumped, amped, really amping up the players, bringing a lot of energy to the training camp, a little more youthful exuberance, music blast. They had pool tables in the locker rooms. That's back in Dallas. They're out here in Oxnard. So right now, mostly from what I hear, the consensus is that the training camp is fun. And in fun ways in the sense that there's energy. It's upbeat. But hey, there have been some dust-ups. We'll talk about that. In that first week as well, we started learning some more about some people, the rookies. Pretty much everybody was there. Of course, we had, Michael Parsons shows up. He's working, being there, being a leader, but, with his back issues, he wasn't a full participant. Other guys are working on their rehab as they get themselves back. Trayvon Diggs, DeMarvion Overshown, they're kind of being mentors, almost like assistant coaches to the players at their position. That's good experience. That's good perspective for players to have. So, looking forward to hearing that. Ones I want to keep my eye on right now, who's done pretty well, standing out again without pads. Next week they're going to put pads on. Going to start hitting. You're going to really start playing the game the way it's supposed to be played. Got to get used to getting hits. I hate that period because there are times people get injured, fluke injuries and things like that. But players will get injured on 7-on-7s and things like that. It's just the nature of the game, all right? But, hey, you got to go through some hitting to get used to some hitting. I know that for sure. Ones I think to keep my eye on, I want to see who's looked pretty good standing out. I'm going to go rookie-wise. Donovan Ezeraku, okay? Donovan Ezeraku, I think is, and for the most part, the consensus is he's probably one of the biggest steals in the draft. He just has the technique of a DN. He has the size and speed. Now, he's not the biggest size. He's not Micah Parsons size, but he's got some Micah Parsons level of explosion. We're going to have a fast defense with Parsons. He's going to be back. Ezeraku on the edge. And then when we get DeMarvion Overshown, he gets himself back again. He's had 2 ACLs. It's going to take a minute, but he's got so much explosion and speed. I'm looking forward to that. That type of speed in those different positions, linebacker, the 2 ends, are going to make us really very, very tough to deal with defensively. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, he's got the bend. He's without the pads. He's blowing by people, putting moves on people, and making them tougher. But yeah, he's the real deal. Donovan Ezeraku. Also, speaking of which, he's going up against is that O-line. I'm there as a whole. Cooper Beebe, second year, coming in as a center. He's been playing guard for the most part of Kansas State. He's had to play center. Did a pretty good job playing center first year. And it's a lot of responsibility. This second year, I think there's going to be more detail paid attention to coaching him up so he's prepared, knowing how to make the calls at the line, um, uh, and just blocking it better. And again, more experience is more experience. Experience is the best teacher. But I do want to see his development, along with um, Tyler Guyton. I think from what I hear, Guyton has come back. He's taken to heart the type of year he had last year. It wasn't his best year. Wasn't a best year for a rookie. A lot of attention negatively focused on him. He was in and out of the lineup. Coaches didn't trust him enough, and they're trying to save their jobs that they ultimately lost. So they're going to go with the veterans. Guyton just had to learn a lot more in the technique. But he's done a lot of things. He's dropped a little pounds. He's been in the weight room. Was getting some one-on-one work with legendary tackle at the same position who he's replacing, Tyron Smith. So I'm looking forward to seeing his development. All eyes are saying he looks pretty good. Looks definitely much more renewed. Definitely more technically sound. So I'm looking forward to it. All right, Guyton, you got to get with it, man. For real, we need to protect that blind side. Okay. Also, the rookie, Tyler Booker. Tyler Booker is looking pretty sharp. He looks pretty solid. He looks the part right away. He's coming in pretty much ready to go. I want to see how he steps up. We're gonna have two bookend guards. I think the middle with us with Cooper Beebe, with Tyler Smith, and then Tyler Booker. Ty Coop Ty. That's basically what we got there. I just came up with that at the top of my head. The Ty Coop Ty combination right there in the middle, opening up holes in the run game and protection against the moves up the middle, unless it's Donovan Ezraku. And then also Terrence Steele. Terrence Steele really trying to get himself with that knee. Not bad. He's not a great tackle, but he's not bad. He's not giving up much of a whole lot there. But again, seeing if he still is reaching the peak, does he have more to go to get to that peak, or is he peaked and is he now on that way down? We'll see. So that's just interesting what I'm saying in the O-line, especially for a running game if we're going to have one, because we don't have a featured back that we know is going to be that guy. And be honest with you, open holes. Anybody can run through holes. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can run through good holes. Saquon Barkley, most people are going to say he's the best back, and he's a good back, very good back. But once he went to the Eagles, the hated Eagles, I'm going to say that right there, the hated Eagles, he had holes. He had gaping holes to run through. And when a running back has that for the line, ooh, that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of my voice is all cracky. Woo is what I want to say. That's a lot of pressure on a defense. Okay, when a running back can get speed and he's 4 or 5 yards down the field before he's touched, hard to bring down. Very, very hard to bring down. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this O-line as a whole can produce. We've had great O-lines. We've gone through this period. We've lost Tyron Smith, Hall of Fame left tackle. We lost Zach Martin, one of our best linemen in history of the Cowboys. We've had a lot of linemen there. He's definitely going to the Hall of Fame. He's retired. And so now that we're getting this line back together, and I think we've gotten some good picks, and we got some guys who are getting some good technique, have great potential, and got a year together to work with each other, I want to see how that develops. All right. So I think the O-line is definitely very, very, very important there in that sense. Last one I'm going to mention, Maris Luafau. That's one to watch. Maris Luafau. And that line, we're going to talk about the position group rooms, but he's part of that linebacker room, which I think is very impressive. We don't have DeMarvion Overshown, okay, who is really just showing the potential of being a beast. But Luafau, in his second year right now, seems to be confident, relaxed from what I'm hearing and getting and seeing on film. And he looks good. Just looks professional. Looks like a top linebacker. Hey, look, as much as Jerry Jones wants to wait to pay for people, he's going to be paying for some people. He's going to be He's gonna be paying his bill because we got an embarrassment of riches, I believe. As much as people are projecting us to be lower, I think in some of these other spots, we're going to be strong. Marius Lufau is one of them. I think he's just moving and growing into the position, and he's standing out, standing out. So that's someone I'm looking forward to seeing his growth, seeing him in this next year taking a step and making us a lot stronger and deeper on the defensive end. Okay, so that's who I'm looking at as far as the guys to keep an eye on this training camp and look for, especially when we start getting to the preseason. And I know the starters and stuff like that, for the most part, don't play in the preseason for the Cowboys, and not any preseason games, which is a little different. But they do get in the scrimmages where there's a lot of contact, and we'll get our reports and we'll find out what's going on there. But from what I'm hearing with Maris Lofau, he looks very good, and I'm very encouraged by it. Keeping it moving, the next one I want to go into with the camp, talking about it, especially this first week. We've had 2 fights, maybe one fight where some hands was put on somebody, and another one that was a little dust up. A lot of tough guy, macho energy going on with tempers flaring. From what I heard on Thursday, there was a little bit of a dust up with, and I'm sorry, I don't have the player's name in that sense. I'll get that. Got into it a little bit with C.D. Lamb. Let's see. I'm going to look that up. But before then, you had Sam Williams, who got in. I heard a punch was thrown. It was a big dust up, big, hands put on each other. People were getting into it. Coach Schottenheimer got in the middle of it, cut the music down, and cussed the guys out, and let them know people are going to get sent home. And they seemed to calm down on that. Sorry, I'm doing 2 things at once. I'm going to put this up here. So I'm going to say this to you. I like this. I like this, and I'm going to tell you why. If Cowboys fan, when's the last time you heard of a fight? Fights usually happen all the time. It's hot. People are under pressure to make a spot, get a spot on the team, get their contracts, knowing that soon, hey, it's a contract year. I got to make this money here. And so, there's a lot of energy, but you don't see those type of fights. I haven't heard. It just hit me when I heard about the fight in the training camp. I haven't heard about a fight in the training camp with the Cowboys in years. In years. So you're seeing all this good energy, all this hype energy that Shotty has got going with the coaches, to the players, keep it upbeat, got the music going. And there's some hip hop. people will try to blame violence on the hip hop, but the hell with y'all. But that energy with football. Football's physical, man. It's nasty, man. And people gotta people are gonna come with people are gonna come with a whole lot of bad energy. People will come there. Football players are nasty. Football players are a little crazy. They get hit in the head for a living. Okay, so they're supposed to be a little trippy, a little nasty. If I get a nice football player that don't really get into it with nobody, I don't want him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not looking for fights. Don't want anybody to get hurt. It is unnecessary, but I like the fact that there's some fire in these guys. There's some fire. There ain't no punks out there. We can't have no punks on the football field. So I think here, if we're looking with the fights here, talking with Schottenheimer, he's, let's see if I get some name. I wanted to see if I can get some names in this. Fight broke out on the sideline, escalating to a massive rugby level scrum, punches being thrown, eventually being broken up before the practice was allowed to continue. Head coach Brian Schottenheimer tore into the entire team, just justified expletives and repeatedly screaming, "Do you effing understand me?" Um, I didn't give any names about who did what, who threw what, but I did hear there was a particular player that got into it, pushed CD that was going after her at CD Lamb. I think pushed him, and something to that effect. But yeah, gonna be fights. I like the fire. I like the energy. Now let's channel it properly. Gonna be a little dust up. Gonna be a little competition. Gonna be a little hating out there trying to fight for positions. And then by the end of preseason, if we get into the season, the team comes together and you take that hating energy, ready to kill, crush, and maim out on the opponent. Starting with the Philadelphia Eagles. So I do like that, and I like the energy with it. So you let me know what you think on that. Um, Next thing I want to go into, this is the thing here, the rooms. So the rooms to talk about what I want to focus on, that give me the most interest right now, that I want to see. And I'm gonna pick one from the defense, one from the offense. First, I'm gonna start with the offense. The room that interests me is the tight ends. I think we don't have a standout tight end like that, so I get that. But I think we got a good group. I think we got a group where some people need to prove themselves, so they're hungry. They're going to come out and play hungry. But I think as a group, we have what we need to do to be very effective from that position. All right. The tight end starts obviously with Jake Ferguson. He's the number one tight end. Blocking, pass catching. He's been very good. He's the reason why they let Dalton Schultz go, to let him be the number one tight end, receiving wise. And he's really been solid, very solid. Um, that's a good thing there. Now, obviously, we want depth. They brought in Luke Schoonmaker a couple of years ago, who was looking to be one of those other tight ends. He's been okay. I think a lot of people have been harder on him. I'm not too mad at him. Has he stood out? No. Has he locked in the fact that, hey, he's the other guy? Has he put any pressure on Jake Ferguson and say, hey, look, you might want to stay healthy, because if I got to take reps from you, you may not get your spot back. No, Luke Schoonmaker is not. But I think he's being pushed and he's being challenged, which will only make him better and get him sharper, by a Brevin Spanford. Schoonmaker's been known more so to be a good blocking tight end. Pass catching ability has been decent at best. I think, though, when Ferguson got hurt last year and he missed like the last part of the season, the later part of the season, and Schoonmaker was in, he actually made plays. He actually made plays. I think when given the opportunity, when in that right focus, maybe not having to worry about looking over his shoulder as to whose spots, or maybe I didn't say he's looking over his shoulder. Let me check that. Maybe knowing that you're going in, that you're going to get these reps, knowing where you are and established, especially as a number one tight end option, relaxed him. He made catches. He made plays. He did well. I'm told and understood that he's dropped a little bit of weight. Again, he's been known to be that more of a blocking tight end. You want to be sizable, like an offensive lineman. Look, if you don't know football, I'll say to you, tight ends are linemen that can move and catch. I mean, they're athletic. They're a little more athletic and they can catch. Okay, there's been plenty legendary tackles that were in college. They were tight ends, and but tight end is one of the most unique positions because you definitely are two people. One, you're a lineman that can block, and two, you're a receiver. Now, if you get one that's not as good of a blocker, but he can catch passes, then you'll scheme and do things where you can exploit that position. But you got to get somebody else. Shannon Sharp wasn't much of a blocker. He wasn't a big. He was really one of the smallest tight ends I've ever seen. But he helped change the position a little bit to be that more athletic and strong. But hey, then you get people who are just blocking tight ends, like we've had with Brevin Spanford. He was brought in being a blocking tight end. His problem was his pass catching. His hands were bricks. But he's actually shown a lot more softness with his hands and being able to catch the ball and um, be a dual threat as a tight end. He is athletic enough. Spanford is athletic enough. He's got the size. He knows how to block. Now, see, subsequently, Schoonmaker drops a little weight to add more to his ability to be a better pass catcher. Will that be a sacrifice to his blocking? Spanford has just been focusing more on his pass catching and being more sure-handedly along with his blocking. So there's a lot of pressure. That's a fight for the number 2 spot there. Brevin Spanford and Luke Schoonmaker. We have Jeremy Stevens. That has just been, I say his name right. It's, geez, you want to forgive me, guys. John Stevens Jr. Excuse me, I said Jeremy Stevens. John Stevens Jr. Has looked good. I like what I see from him in training camp. But he ends up having some injury, or he didn't make the cut, and then he had an injury where it looked like he was going to make the cut. Probably wouldn't have had Brevin Spanford. He would have been on the practice squad because he's undrafted. Stevens was looking to be the guy. He gets hurt, which opened the door for Spanford. So wondering about him, I think this is going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Stevens. He's coming off the injury. You got to not only just come off the injury, you still got to rehab. You still got to be able to trust it. You got that on your mind. You just can't play as free and clear. And we'll see. Also, as far as the other tight end, there's a tight end that the Cowboys picked up, and I want to remember his name here. The Cowboys picked up UDFAs as undrafted free agents. They kept and gave a little money towards which one? I think it's a tight end to come out of Marshall. And why do I not have him here? Let's go. Either way, with the tight end room, I'm encouraged one way or the other. We have some depth, we have some talent. I feel good about this group. I think with really, to be honest with you, with the receivers, CeeDee Lamb, one of the best receivers in the game, George Pickens, who actually is one of the best tight receivers in the game that we just added. That's going to make it very, very tough. You're not going to be able to just roll a defense to one receiver. Because both of them can hurt you. Both of them will hurt defenses. That just opens everything up for the tight end. That just opens everything up for the tight end. But this other rookie that I'm looking for, who was undrafted, comes in with a lot of potential. And I'm sorry, I don't have the name in front. That's on me. So the tight end room interests me. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do. On the defensive side, the defense has the linebackers. Now, again, we don't have DeMarvion Overshown, but with Marshawn Nealon, Maris Luafau, the linebacker room is going to be good. It's Kenneth Murray, Damone Clark, who we got back, came from Washington. I don't like us taking players back from other teams in the division, but that's fine. He started with us. And you got Tyrus Wheat. I'm sorry, I said Tyrus Wheat wrong. Kenneth Murray, Damone Clark, Justin Barron. I like them. We have the rookie we drafted out of Florida, Shamar James. Be interesting to see what he brings to the table. I think more for depth. Jack Sanborn. And then you have on the Sam's when we get DeMarvion Overshown, then also Maris Luafau will step up and play that position there. So it's fast. They're active. For some years we were kind of going without linebackers. 2 years ago, we didn't have a linebacker. We had one linebacker. I don't know what the hell that was all about. Um, Backers usually are the heartbeat of a defense. They're the leaders of a defense. That middle, that Sam, Mike, and Willie linebacker really sets the tone, especially if we're going to do like we have a true 4-3 defense. I understand you got to scheme and you got to change. You have to adjust because these offenses spread on you. And you can't always have a lot of linebackers. But when you have good linebackers, they actually can cover in short space. They can attack that run, and they can cover for a few seconds to give that defensive line time to get to the quarterback when they're trying to make plays and maybe set something out schemas. We'll give up a little something with the linebackers, but eventually more. If you got a great linebacking core, you're gonna win more than you're gonna lose those scheme matchups. So I'm very very pleased to see us have a good group in the linebacker room. So uh, I'll be much more happier when we get DeMarvin Overshown back. That's who I'm looking forward to. So we can get, but again, this opportunity here allows a player like Maris Lewis-Fowl to really step up, and he's been doing well with this. He's been doing well in camp. Let me say it that way, and I'm very encouraged with his progress and what we're hearing. So for him, he can lead the way. Let me see. What do you have here? I'm still looking. The undrafted. Let's look here real quick. I want to get that name, and I'm sorry I didn't have that. I'll be better prepared with some other stuff. I'm doing this all me. I'm the star. I'm the producer. I'm the grip. I'm I'm doing all this. Okay, and trying to fit this into what I want to be a 30-minute show. Yeah, Justin Barron is the guy I'm talking about. Justin Barron, he may make the team. And it may help at the fact that Overshown is out. But I think he was in a position to be able to make the team regardless. I think maybe it's more or less why they won the draft and to get somebody that can make the team from UDFA's in that linebacking spot to add depth to it. If not, he'll be practice squad and probably will get reps during the season. Likely to get reps during the season. I just think they'll call him up in there. So Justin Barron, along with the other linebackers in that core, I'm really looking forward to seeing. I think they're fast. I think they're active. They cause problems to a defense. Linebackers, you want to cause problems. That defense, that D line gets pressure. Maybe draw a double team here. Linebackers fill the gaps. That's gonna cut out that run. All right. Cowboys have sucked in their appreciation and respect in the run game. Both sides of the ball. Both sides of the ball. Defending the run and being effective in the run. I think that's about to change, at least on the defending of the run. Being effective at running game with our running backs, I'm going to depend on our line to do so. I'm going to depend on our line. And speaking with the running backs, that was close to the next interesting room there that I'm looking at, but we'll see. Maybe later on after this weekend, we'll explore them. They'll be my interesting group. Um, I'm going to tell you, my dark horse who we drafted as running back that probably will play, two dark horse. Maffa, he's big and he can run. And I think Deuce Vaughn. I think Deuce Vaughn is going to find him a spot on the team this year. I think Deuce Vaughn is going to find him a spot on the team. I think McCarthy and them, even though they draft them, didn't want to use him. I think Schottenheimer and the offensive coaching staff sees some value in him. May see some value. I could be wrong. But I think they're going to see some value. He is now a veteran. This is his fourth year. This is his third year. I'm looking forward to that. But either way, I like what our linebackers look like, and I like what our tight ends look like. Those are strong beasts that have versatility. So that's why I picked the two groups on each side of the ball. the linebackers, and the tight ends, if we can get quality play, quality to great play out of those guys, I'm going to be yelling all year. How about them Cowboys? Anyway, that's it. That's what we got for this episode. I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate the love. Please hit like, subscribe, share it to some friends. Talk a little shit to me about it if you want to. Love it, hate it, just watch it. Okay? All right? Because we talk Cowboys here. All right? Thank you very much, you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and peace.